And then if you're in dialogue with them, then you can get them back on track. So they sin. They shift the subject. They do it all the time. Secondly, they ignore the facts. To paraphrase Jack Nicholson in that famous movie, liberals can't handle the facts. They hate the facts. When President Obama started trying to sell health care reform, he continued to use the number 46 million people are without health insurance. Now, fortunately, some radio talk show hosts, some cable news outlets, and a lady by the name of Sally Pipes of the Pacific Research Institute and others took a look at the data and unraveled that 46 million and found that it was not 46 million people who were going without health insurance because they couldn't afford it. Some of those people made enough money to buy it, but they chose not to. And some of those people that were counted in that number were residents of the United States of America, but they were not citizens. And do we owe health insurance to every other person in the world? So when you start to peel back the numbers, it's not 46 million. And then in the president's address to joint members of Congress on just health care, he started using the number over 30 million. The real number is about 10 million. He still has a few others in there. And here's one other thing about health care reform that I want to make sure that I state, in case somebody else didn't state. We do not have a health care crisis in America. We have a health care cost crisis in America, and that proposal is not the way to fix it. I'll get the liberals who will call up and say, well, what do you have against all Americans getting health care? I said, I have nothing against all Americans having health care. There is a right way and a wrong way. And unfortunately, your party, your leaders are trying to shove it down our throats, and we the people are saying, not this time. Not going to shove it down our throats. So this is why we have to know our facts. Know the logic. Know the facts. There are three things we need to do to bring down the cost of health care in America. This is not a health care seminar, but I got to take advantage of this opportunity. So when you are in dialogue with a reasonable liberal, you can point out to them, I know there aren't many of them, but you might get lucky and run across one on the bus or something. Three things would dramatically change the health care cost equation and dynamics in this country. Number one, tort reform. Number two, level the playing field in terms of who gets a deduction if you buy health insurance. Right now, the employer gets a deduction, but the employee doesn't get a deduction. And if you level the playing field such that it doesn't matter who pays for it, you get a tax deduction for your health insurance. Now, let me just say, parenthetically, we need to eliminate this stupid tax code, but while we got it, we may as well do the right thing by the people. So that's number two. And then number three, allow insurance to be sold across state lines. If you do those three things, and if government gets out of the way, we won't have a health care cost problem. It's common sense. It's not rocket scientists. It's common sense. So know your facts, know your logic, stay informed. That's all we have to do in order to be the offending father. That N, S-I-N, when they can't shift the subject on you, when they can't ignore the facts, they name call. You right-wing nutcases. You Tea Party. Let me see if I can't remember some of them. Now, Nancy said we were AstroTurf. Harry Reid said we were unpatriotic. Janine Garofalo said that we were redneck teabaggers. And some of the other Democrat leaders in Congress called us crazy. Well, it reminded me of my grandfather when we used to spend time on the farm during the summer. And when we did something to upset my grandfather, we thought he went crazy. And Grandpa's favorite phrase when he was coming after us, when we'd be saying, "But Pa, you're going crazy." He would say, "I'm going to show you some crazy." And that's one of our messages to the leaders in Congress. Yes, we are crazy. We are crazy about the Declaration. We are crazy about the Constitution. And we are crazy about the greatest country in the world. And we want to keep it that way. Yes, we are crazy. We're crazy. Oh, yeah. We're crazy. Yeah. Well, the next time they say you all are a bunch of crazies, say thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're crazy. We're crazy about this country. We're crazy about our children and our grandchildren. And so that's what we have to do as defending fathers. That's my message to you today. Stay connected. Stay involved. Stay connected, stay involved, and stay informed. And that way you can combat the liberal sin. And with the Winter Olympics going on, it reminded me of the closing song, the words to the closing song of the 2000 Olympics. It reminds each of us as defending fathers of our responsibility. The words to the closing song of the 2000 Olympics said, "Life can be a challenge. Life can seem impossible. It's never easy when there's so much on the line. But you can make a difference. There's a mission just for you. Just look inside, and you will find just what you can do." The power of one begins with believing that you hold the key to all of your achieving. Just look inside, and you will find just what you can do. The power of one begins with believing that you hold the key to all of your achieving. We have a message for the president, his administration, Harry and Nancy, and the liberals. We the people are still in charge of this country.